You ever felt like the black sheep of the family? You know, the one who just doesn't quite fit in no matter how hard you try? Well, in this explainer, we're diving into a really powerful story about that exact feeling and what it actually means to find where you belong. So, let's meet Barnaby. He's got a loving family, a nice home, but he sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, the caption here says it all. Different wool, same pasture. You've got the super neat, orderly Miller family on one side, and then there's Barnaby, who looks like he's drawn in a completely different art style. The whole conflict is set up right here, from the very start.
Okay, so to really understand Barnaby, we first have to get a feel for his world. Let's get to know the Miller family, the self-described pillars of the beige community. The contrast here is just, wow, it's immediate. You see this picture-perfect home under a happy little sun, but then you look at the breakfast scene and it's anything but. His dad asks for beige sugar, which perfectly captures their, let's say, flavorless world. Barnaby's presence, though, is like a jolt of spontaneous heavy metal in the middle of all that quiet. This one image, it tells you everything you need to know about their dynamic. And this fundamental difference isn't just a quirky thing at the breakfast table. No, it leads to this constant grinding struggle, a whole series of daily rejections where Barnaby's true nature just clashes with the beige world all around him. Let's take rejection number 48, the family portrait, right? His parents want this happy, smiling Christmas card photo, but Barnaby, he brings a slightly different energy. You can feel his father's frustration. They're aiming for joy, not existential dread. Even in a simple family tradition, who he is, it's seen as a problem. And this disconnect goes way beyond his home. He tries to join the community choir, but his unique way of expressing himself is, well, it's not what they were expecting. The choir director is horrified, complaining that instead of a tenor, he got a chainsaw in a blender. His passion is just too loud, too raw for their world. So by the time we get to rejection number 99, it's even affecting his personal life. I mean, his idea of good date night small talk is discussing the void and asking if the water is too spicy. The thing is, he's not trying to be difficult. He's just being himself, but that self is completely alien to everyone he meets. You can just feel his isolation building. So after 99 rejections and who knows how many other little moments, all this friction is about to hit its boiling point. And that brings us to the climax of the story, the oatmeal confrontation. But before the big explosion, just look at this. This is Barnaby making a genuine, massive effort. It's the grandmother's jubilee, and he's trying to bake a cake, literally forcing himself into a mold that doesn't fit. You can see the exhaustion on his face as he thinks, I will be sweet, I will be normal, I will not mention the void. He is trying so hard to be what they want him to be. But it just doesn't work, and all the years of frustration, all the failed portraits and scary dates and chainsaw choirs, it all finally erupts from his father in one single desperate question. And here's the full chaotic scene. His father, standing on a chair in a room just covered in oatmeal, lets it all out. You are impossible. You destroy photocopiers. You scare Susans. Why can't you just be beige? It's this incredibly painful, raw moment that just shows a family dynamic that is not working for anyone. Now, you'd expect Barnaby to yell back, or maybe run away. But what happens next is the turning point of the entire story. He has this moment of absolute clarity, a totally new way of seeing the problem. Instead of getting angry, Barnaby responds with understanding. He looks at his shocked father and says, you're right, Dad. I am terrible at being beige. But then he adds this absolutely crucial part. But you guys, you are world-class at it. It's just not my life. See? He's not blaming them. He's not blaming himself. He's just reframing the entire problem as a fundamental, neutral difference. And this is where he lands on the central metaphor of the whole story. His family's life is oatmeal. It's consistent, it's structurally sound, it's predictable. His life, it's a burnt cake, chaotic, messy, and totally unpredictable, but it's authentically his. He realizes neither one is bad. They're just incompatible. Holding up that very cake he tried so hard to make normal, he just lays it out perfectly. He says, I've been trying to force you to like my burnt cake, and you've been trying to force me to eat oatmeal. We're just giving each other indigestion.
The real problem isn't the oatmeal or the cake. It's the forcing. The pain comes from trying to make each other into something they're not. This huge realization, it doesn't lead to some bitter separation. It actually leads to a really mature and respectful resolution. It's time for Barnaby to find a pastor that suits his kind of role. And because of this new understanding, the goodbyes are surprisingly peaceful. There's no drama. His mother's main concern is whether his jacket is warm enough. And instead of some parting shot, he gives his dad a genuine compliment about the lawn, saying, honestly, nobody does grass like you. He's acknowledging and respecting his dad's world, even as he's leaving it behind. And this brings us to the story's beautiful conclusion. As Barnaby drives off, he thinks to himself, they are perfect sheep, I'm just done trying to baa. The takeaway here is so profound. A black sheep doesn't need to turn white. They just need to find a different pasture. So that leaves us with one last really important question. See, this story isn't just about Barnaby, it's about all of us who have ever felt like we were the burnt cake at an oatmeal party. It kind of prompts us to ask ourselves, have you found your pasture?